You could have a fortune sitting in your pocket change right now. Roosevelt dimes have been around since 1946, but did you know that some of them are worth thousands of dollars? Today, we're counting down the top 4 rarest and most valuable Roosevelt dimes. So check your collection because one of these could be hiding in plain sight. First up, the 1976 No Mint Mark Roosevelt dime is an interesting coin that has sparked curiosity among collectors. Unlike other rare dimes, this one does not have an extreme error or a major variety associated with it, but some collectors still seek high-grade specimens. The 1976 Roosevelt dime was minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, with Philadelphia dimes typically not carrying a mint mark. In excellent condition, especially in mint state or proof-like quality, these coins can have a small premium over face value. In circulated condition, they are generally worth only their face value of 10 cents. However, in higher grades such as MS 67 or above, they can be worth between $50 to $200, depending on market demand. The 1976 Roosevelt dime is composed of a copper nickel clad and was part of the regular production for that year, celebrating the U.S. bicentennial era, even though the dime itself did not receive a special bicentennial design like the quarter, half dollar, and dollar. If you come across a 1976 No Mint Mark Roosevelt dime in exceptional condition, it may be worth getting graded, as collectors often seek the finest known specimens to add to their collections. Next up, the 1986 P. Roosevelt dime is a notable coin from the Philadelphia Mint, which produced millions of these dimes for circulation. While it is generally considered a common coin, certain factors can significantly influence its value, particularly its condition, errors, and demand among collectors. This dime is part of the modern Roosevelt dime series, introduced in 1946 to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt. Like all dimes minted after 1965, it is composed of a copper-nickel-clad structure rather than the 90% silver composition used in earlier years. The 1986 P dime bears the familiar portrait of Roosevelt on the obverse, designed by John R. Sinnock, and the reverse features a torch, an olive branch, and an oak branch, symbolizing liberty, peace, and strength. In terms of value, the vast majority of 1986 P. Roosevelt dimes remain at face value when in circulated condition. Even in fine condition, meaning it has seen some wear but still retains clear details, it is typically only worth 10 cents. However, the story changes when it comes to high-grade uncirculated specimens. If a 1986 P dime is found in mint state condition, particularly in MS 65 or above, its value can range from $2 to $10, making it a small but worthwhile collectible. For those lucky enough to find an example in exceptional condition, MS 67 or MS 68, it can command significantly higher prices, sometimes exceeding $100. This is because coins at this level of preservation are rare, as most dimes from this year have been heavily circulated. Collectors and investors seek these near-perfect examples to add to their collections, often competing at auctions to obtain the finest known specimens. Next up, the 1982 D. Roosevelt dime was struck at the Denver Mint as part of the standard coinage for that year. This dime, like all others minted after 1965, is composed of a copper-nickel clad rather than silver, making it a common and widely circulated coin. While the 1982 D dime is not considered rare, its value can vary based on condition, demand, and the presence of any errors. In bad condition, meaning it has heavy wear, scratches, or other signs of damage, the 1982 D dime typically holds only its face value of 10 cents. Since billions of these were produced, low-grade examples are not considered collectible. However, if an uncirculated or high-grade specimen is found, its value can increase. In mint state MS grades, particularly MS 65 or higher, these dimes may sell for $2 to $10. The highest graded examples, such as MS 67 or MS 68, can reach $100 or more due to their rarity in top condition. Collectors also seek out error varieties, such as off-center strikes, missing clad layers, or doubled dies. If a 1982 D. Roosevelt dime exhibits such an error, it may command a premium depending on the severity and uniqueness of the mistake. Additionally, full torch full bands varieties, where the torch on the reverse is struck with full separation between the bands, can fetch higher prices among collectors. For those interested in collecting or selling a 1982 D. Roosevelt dime, it is recommended to assess the coin's condition and check for any notable errors. While most circulated examples are not worth more than their face value, a high-grade or error coin could be a valuable find. Checking old coin rolls, bank change, or inherited collections may yield an interesting piece that stands out from the ordinary. Next up, the 1969 Roosevelt dime was minted in Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco, with each version carrying its respective mint mark except for the Philadelphia issue, which traditionally lacks one. This coin is part of the modern Roosevelt dime series, introduced in 1946, and features a copper nickel-clad composition, which replaced the 90% silver dimes that were issued before 1965. In fine condition, a 1969 Roosevelt dime holds little numismatic premium over its face value of 10 cents, as it remains a common coin due to high mintage numbers. However, collectors typically seek well-preserved examples, especially in uncirculated grades. In mint state, MS 65 or higher, a 1969 Roosevelt dime can be worth between $2 and $20, depending on its condition and demand. The highest graded specimens, such as MS 67 or MS 68, can fetch significantly higher prices, sometimes exceeding $100, if they are among the finest known examples. One of the most desirable varieties of the 1969 Roosevelt dime is the full bands FB designation. This refers to a coin that was struck with full, well-defined bands on the torch located on the reverse of the dime. These dimes, particularly in high grades, can command a premium due to their sharp details and rarity compared to regular strikes. Although the 1969 Roosevelt dime does not have widely known errors or major varieties, it is still worth checking for any striking anomalies. Coins with off-center strikes, missing clad layers, or strong doubling errors can be valuable, often selling for much more than standard issues. Collectors and coin roll hunters frequently search for these unique pieces to add to their collections. If you have a 1969 Roosevelt dime in fine condition, its value remains close to face value. However, uncirculated or error examples can be much more valuable. Checking for strong strikes, mint errors, or high-quality details can make the difference between a common dime and a collectible one worth keeping.